About to get started in 1 second. Set a 2-minute timer for the setup. We're about to get started, guys. Make sure you join in the chat. What the deal? What the deal? About to get started, guys. What's going on? Get started in 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Work out a lot. The remote was in the way, bro. Everything always want to be in the way. It was unspeakable. Okay. All right, guys, we're going to get started. Who can guess what podcast number this is? See where the real fans are at. The real listeners. We're about to get started, though. I have no damn clue. Yeah, I got to start listening to the damn podcast. That's why. Because y'all don't be in the podcast. But we're about to get started. I'm ready to get started. Turn this time off. 20 seconds. Whoever comes. We are getting started because I want to go about my night. But I said I'm going to be consistent with the podcast. So we're about to get started. All right, guys. This is podcast number 137. And tonight we're going to be talking about the attack on masculinity. This is a podcast that's long overdue, you know. And I really feel like it's something that we should protect, even for the woman. I feel like the women would want to benefit from their men being masculine, because this is not only something for the men. There's a lot of things that are going into it. Indoctrination. We're being attacked from all different sides, from the food we eat. And I feel like the indoctrination is the most important. But we're going to play this song, J.O. Left Field, him and Tory Woods, a.k.a. Randy, if you know how the podcast go. And then right after that, we'll get right into talking about how important it is to protect your masculinity and all the things that are being done to emasculate you. All right, let's get into the song. We'll get started right after this.
Got that sauce in it. Have you ever loved someone so much you thought you'd die, giving so much of yourself? It seems the only way. Tell me what you want and I will give it to you. I will give it 'cause you call me out of left field. Guess some love you never had like this. Fuck with a winner with a bag like this. Guess some love you never had like this. You call me out of left field. Guess some love you never had like this. Fuck with a winner with a bag like this. Guess some love you never had like this. Yeah. Call me out. Look, shorty, she a vibe, she a ting. fire. Something like a vibe, everything. On my bad, I'm just stating all the obvious things. We could put the small talk and I could buy you a ring on the rack. Shorty on fire, got me gassed up. To the moon, got me feeling like it's NASA. Yeah, she a boss, on God, got a bag up. X-Men was lame, no surprise, he ain't last much. She ain't never had no love like this. But she looking for a love like this. Come and put it on me, give me something I can miss. We can keep between us, everything tight blips. Yeah, we ain't gotta tell nobody. I don't need much, all I need is your body. Say you like it rough, okay, give it to me sloppy. Do it so good, I ain't thinking about no side piece. Have you ever loved someone so much you thought you'd die? Giving so much of yourself, it seems the only way. Tell me what you want and I will give it to you.
Get some likes, guys. Make sure you share it.
I will give it cause you call me out of left field. Yeah, some love you never had like this. Fuck with a winner with a bag like this. Yeah, some love you never had like this. You call me out of left field. Yeah, some love you never had like this. Fuck with a winner with a bag like this.
Get some likes in the chat,
yeah,
guys.
Some love you never had like this. Call me out. Yeah, my back been right. I done seen you looking at me and that's real right. Trying to give you something good, I'ma make you feel nice. Trying to take you out the hood to a sea first fly. We be dancing on the beach, get the sand on your feet. Wind through your hair, warm in with the breeze. And we straight to my sheets, champagne and Belize. If you want a little pain, I can give it to you easy. Damn, baby, I could give it to you proper. Forget every other man, I want you. Damn, baby, I could do you how you wanna. Damn, baby, I could. And we ain't gotta tell nobody. I don't need much, all I need is your body. Say you like it rough, okay, give it to me sloppy. Doing it so good, I ain't thinking about no side piece. Have you ever loved someone so much you thought you'd die? Giving so much of yourself, it seems the only way. Tell me what you want and I will give it to you. I will give it cause you call me out of that field. Yeah, some love you never had like this. Fuck with a winner with a bag like this. Yeah, some love you never had like this. You call me out of that field. Yeah, some love you never had like this. Fuck with a winner with a bag like this. Yeah, some love you never had like this. Call me out.
All right, guys, that was Left Field by J.O. and Tory Woods, a.k.a. Randy. If you know, you're a loyal listener of the podcast, and you know who Randy is. Good and longtime friend, best friend. But anyway, so let's get into tonight's topic. Tonight we're going to be talking about attack on masculinity. By the way, guys, if you're in the chat, let's get some likes up. We're also streaming on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, everybody on YouTube. If you're in the chat, just give it a like. And send it to someone. Now, today we're going to be talking attack on masculinity. Now, this is very important because society has this thing where, and, you know, I really don't understand it, honestly. You would think that us as a nation, you would want us to be the most powerful nation. And a lot of people are under this preconceived notion that America is one of the most powerful nations. So you would want us to be the most masculine, but it seems as if America wants to destroy its babies, you know, and I really don't get it. And you know, and it's like a lot of masculine figures who get really popular, they kind of take them off, you know. That's kind of what happened with Andrew Tate, you know. And a lot of people try to say, oh, you're just following after Andrew Tate, but if you follow me, you know, I've been doing this before he even got popular. Perhaps he has a bigger bag than me, so he can promote himself in a certain way where he can make it to certain individuals. But I've been trying to preach to younger men to be men for the longest. And I just want you guys to be aware of what's going on. And you have to be aware of what's going on so you know how to combat it, you know how to go against it, and you know how to remain masculine. And, you know, our future is contingent on it. And, you know, there's a lot of things that play into having masculinity. But before we get into the talk, I want to play a short clip and then we'll get right into it.
Male energy. Now, okay. Why do they need to control male energy? If you want to take over a planet, okay, if you want to completely take over a planet, the first thing that you have to do is you have to take out the alpha males or the strong males from the planet. Because the
Oh shit. Sorry.
Strong alpha males protect the divine feminine. So there has been a concerted effort, which is now increasing and increasing and increasing, to emasculate to emasculate the strong men on the planet. A prime example would be Jenner. What's his first name? The athlete Jenner. Bruce Jenner. They wanted to, in your face, show you how they could take an Olympic athlete and turn him into a woman, so that they could show you, look how powerful we are. Okay. And you can see through television and films how they are feminizing men more and more and more. You'll see men dressed up in female clothes, or men dressed up in dresses, or in perhaps in sitcoms or in television TV shows. You'll see the male more and more emasculated, and the female playing the dominant role. This is not to empower the female in any way. This is a trick to make it look like that it's empowering the female, when in fact it is taking away the protection
100%.
from the female.
100%.
The feminism movement that happened in the 60s was to destroy the family unit from the inside out. And I'm not saying this in any way that a woman shouldn't be independent and do whatever. I'm saying there is an agenda behind what is going on. If you feminize the alpha males on the planet, the divine feminine won't have protection. And because the planet itself is female, and the female.
All right, he getting into some extra shit, but it's so funny because I said this months ago, just watching TV. I remember I was watching a movie with Shorty, and she's like, "Oh, why are you hating on?" I'm not hating on women, but the way they're making men look is ridiculous. And actually, recently, I was watching a movie on Netflix. What was the movie called? It was called End of the Road. Now, this is a new movie on Netflix with Queen Latifah and Ludacris. Ludacris, the rapper that was in Fast and Furious series. You know who he is. And in the movie, they have a situation they're faced with, right? They're on the road and they encounter some rednecks, right? Because they were previously at a gas station and they were with a young girl and a young boy. And these two Caucasian fellas, they were trying to talk to the girl, and she like flipped them off, gave them a finger. So when they were on the road, the guys were pretty upset and they were trying to get revenge. And long story short, they cut them off. They were like bumping into their car, like trying to steer them off the road. And long story short, they raced to the end of the road and blocked them off. So you have Queen Latifah, who is the woman. Mind you, Queen Latifah is like 50 years old. She may be older than my mom, and I don't know, my mom's like 52. So she may be closer to her 60s. You have Ludacris, who's probably in his late 30s, maybe early 40s. And then you have two children. So what happens here is Queen Latifah proceeds to get out of the car. She tells Ludacris, no, don't do it, because you know your temper, they might try to do something to you. So then she proceeds to get out of the car and handle the situation. And where you see is a man being emasculated, where a man is supposed to take care of this situation. You had a woman getting out of the car, protecting him. Now, I get it. They play the narrative that, oh, that's the big sister. But he's a grown man. He's not a little boy. Under no circumstances would you have a woman, I don't care how big she is. Queen Latifah is a big woman, but it was two grown men. You don't send a woman out when you have a perfectly intact, healthy, grown man by your side to go and do what a woman's doing. And this is why this attack on masculinity, and you may think that it's a very strong, empowering woman role, but realistically, no one in their right mind is going to throw their mother, their sister, their brother in front and say, go handle that. I would never put my mom and say, okay, mom, go handle that. Oh, you could talk to them. You got it. Absolutely not. It wouldn't be even a question. You stay in the car. I got this. Even if you put your life on the line, it's for your family. No man in his right mind. But what they're doing is you're being conditioned to accept this. And then a lot of women fall into this narrative. They're like, oh, no, you thinking too into it. It's just empowering. And this is how you know the movie even gets worse. So then the son, the little boy gets kidnapped. And sorry, guys, if I'm ruining the movie for you, but I have to make my point. So then the little boy gets kidnapped, right? And because I think Ludacris had stole some money that was in a hotel he found. It was like a bag of money, and they wanted the money. And she had to go return the money to get her son back. So then she goes, returns her money, and then she gets kidnapped, and somehow she gets out, and she fights like 12 guys. She's like has this shotgun and somehow makes it out and beats everybody. Completely unrealistic, mind you. If you, no offense to Queen Latifah, but she's not somebody that's in shape. She's in her 50s, almost probably 60s. But the point is, they're painting this unrealistic narrative. She would have never even got through the first dude. They probably would have knocked her out and called it a day. Right? So my thing is, and then you see consistent movies like this, like another one that came out, like She-Hulk. I was watching She-Hulk. I watched the first episode. I couldn't watch it anymore. Especially like, all right, she got her powers. That was cool. And I remember in the comic books were cool too. And that's why I initially wanted to watch it. But then she started whooping on the Hulk. Are you serious? If you read the comic books and you know how powerful Hulk was, and then She-Hulk starts whipping him, it's an emasculation of the man, and this is serving on your subconscious mind. So now what you have here, you have a complete whole generation of kids that are seeing this and watching this. And they're saying that basically that women are the same as men. Not saying that we're not equal, because we are equal, but men and women are different. We both have perks. There are perks to being a man, and there are perks to being a woman. We both have our advantages, but we are equal, but we are not the same. So now you are raising a generation of people who think that, yeah, we're equal on all playing fields. If that were the case, we would be competing against each other in sports. You know, and there's so many movies like this, so many shows like this, where you see a powerful leading character by women. And I'm not saying it's nothing wrong with women making money. I'm not saying it's nothing wrong with women, having some sort of independence. But what you're doing is you're destroying the family unit, because nowadays it's just hookup culture. Nobody wants to be in a relationship. Nobody wants to be in a relationship. Nobody wants to get married, and everybody's okay with it, because you're told that, oh, well, go to school. You don't need to focus on that right now. Get your career, right? You're young. You get married later in life. And then so many people put it off, and really it's a trap for women, because men can wait. So you're destroying the family unit. And nowadays, women have been getting married more than ever in history. So when they said that was a way of destroying the family unit, it's very true. But now you're making something even worse, because now you're attacking masculinity. And I remember, what was another show that was on Netflix? What was it? It was called LA's Finest. I'm not sure if you guys seen that. It was with Gabrielle Union and Jessica Alba. It was an all right show, but I just had a hard time watching it, because it's just like, I see, me personally, when I know a lot of females, and they get very anxious. They get like a lot of anxiety from little situations, right? I'd have this thing where I like poke. I like shorty. I might poke her, right? I poke her. She'd call me abusive. Like, oh, you're being abusive. Why are you doing this? Complaining. Now imagine these, like, women cry. I remember my ex would cry because she couldn't decide what type of food she wanted. Like seriously, sitting there crying. But then I feel like it's so unrealistic to put these women in these situations. And honestly, it's counterproductive for women too. Remember when I said the University of Oxford had put out a study that women suffer from anxiety and depression 40% more than men do on average. Why is that? Because now in society, they're being told to take on roles like men, even though they really don't, because men are willing to take those more harsh jobs, right? They have more responsibilities. They're more single. They don't have as much help. And I feel bad for the single mothers. And this facilitates a lot of guys too that want to be F boys, right? Oh, she want to be independent. Okay, you be independent. Be independent with that baby on by yourself. Because I'm gonna pump her and dump her, and I ain't gonna take care of the child. But then she's encouraged to think, oh, you don't need a man. You independent. You strong. You don't need him. Don't even take him for child support. You know, I've met so many girls struggling. And I'm like, why don't you take the dad for child support? You know where he lives. You know where his mom lives. Everything. You see him. Some of these dudes be living around the corner from them. Oh, I don't need him. That's stupidity. You're purposely struggling because you were told that you're so strong and independent that you don't need a man. And then you think I'm gonna help you take care of him when you could be absolutely not, and neither should you, right? And then my thing is, you could say, oh, it's woman empowerment, but then why is there so many men in dresses? They've been doing that forever. You know, salute to Dave Chappelle for not putting on a dress. You know, they have so many women in dresses, and it's so much nonsense that goes on, right? And then you have things like, you know, if a man's being a man, you have things like toxic masculinity. You know, if I'm being a man, oh, well, it's okay to cry, be feminine. And then I speak to guys on the daily. I know when you cry, these guys come and tell me, oh, she forced me. She begged me to show my feelings. She begged me to do this. She begged me to do that. And then when I did it, she left me. It's something innate. It's innate in nature. They can't help that. They can't. And then it's like anything that a man is being a man, he's attacked for being a man. If he's telling the truth, he's attacked. Trust me, I know my TikTok page, I got deleted more than 20 times. I should have over 1 million followers. I should have over 1 million followers. So when I say there's an attack on masculinity, trust me, there is. And it's counterproductive for women too. It's counterproductive for you guys too, because you're going to be out there on your own. And then when you find a masculine guy who's willing to take that role and willing to make you halfway, you're going to be sharing him. You know why? Because you're going to be turned off by the guys that are feminine and soft, that don't have the bag, that don't have the money, that don't want to take care of you. And then you have this one guy, who's going to be willing to take care of everything. But because, you know, men are being feminized and they think it's okay. Oh, my girl make mad money. I'm good. Oh, we're going to split these bills half and half. I'd rather be alone and by myself than split bills with a whole nother person where I have to rely on this person. God forbid she gets mad at me. Oh, I ain't paying bills. I'm leaving. I'm going back to my mom's house. I'm going back. Oh, heavens no. Absolutely not. But see, there's going to come a time at the rate we're going, because it's already like that with the guys who have money. Because they can facilitate. These guys have money where it's like $500 to them is like $5. $10,000 to them is like $1,000. So they can, especially when you're living off of $60,000 a year, they can take care of you and 12 other families and it'd be nothing. So when you say that, oh, you know, there's going to come a time where 7 women are going to belong to one man, you can definitely believe it. And then they're attacking us from another angle in the food. Since I read 2 statistics. It was 1916s and 1980s that testosterone has decreased 1% every year since that time. I heard 1980s twice, so I'm going to go with 1980s because that's what I took in my notes. Testosterone has decreased by 1% every year. Why is that? It's the food. It's the stuff they put in food. And I'm going to tell you guys, stay away from that Impossible meat. I just came from my mom's house. I'm telling my little brother, stop eating this Impossible meat. Throw it out, or make sure mommy or our sister eats it. This shit is filled with soy. Stay away from soy. All you soy boys, are you soy motherfuckers? Or you soy boys, stop with the soy. Unless you want to eat the soy, unless you know what I'm saying, that's your thing. If that's how you rock, then hey, by all means, do you, baby. You know what I'm saying? But stay away from the soy. That Possible meat, them Possible burgers. I knew it was too good to be true. I'm eating this shit, and I'm just like, yo, this really tastes like meat. And then I read an article, and they were coming at Kim Kardashian. They were like how she has this new Impossible meat. And then I don't know why they decided to do their research and link it to her, but it was like how it's linked to cancer. So not only is it cancerous, it's making you feminine. And then obviously all the junk food. There's a lot of things. We have soy. So stay away from the soy meat. Things like canola oil, vegetable oil. Oh, and another thing about soy, just to let you guys know, that soy, it's hurting your erections. So if you're having a hard time, keeping it up, if you're like 15, 16 years old and you're suffering from erectile, what is it? You having trouble with erections? You have erectile dysfunction? You got to watch what you're eating. Because I know when I was 16, I think too hard in my, I'd be in class. Shit, next to just, teacher might touch my shoulder the wrong way. I'm like, you got to chill. And, but and another thing that I read, and I want to do a little more research on this, so don't take this wholeheartedly. I heard green tea, supposedly green tea lowers testosterone, but that's if it's taken for like a week straight. I hope that's not true, but I just want you guys to be aware so you can equip yourself with the tools that you need, and stop with the junk food too. My point is, guys, there's attack on your masculinity, and it's coming from so many different directions. There's indoctrination, and then it's hard for you to talk to the women, because it's like now women have had more freedom than they had ever, but that's contingent on now they have a lot of depression and come in with a lot of things. You know how many women I know, how many women I've seen cry, because they're doing it on their own, right? My parents, when my parents got a divorce, my mom cried a lot, even though I'm giving her money. I come over to my mom, give her $500. She's crying, I'm doing this alone. What am I doing? I guess I don't exist. I'm just a ghost giving you money, huh? Right? I'm doing my role. I'm doing what I got to do. But it's just, my point is that women should want men to be masculine too, because what's going to happen in a few years, and we all know the statistics. When women raise single mothers raise boys, there's a lot of statistics that are linked to them going to jail, linked to suicide, linked to having bad grades, failing in life. Obviously, there's always exceptions, right? We always see, and I've had this conversation with somebody, a friend of mine, and she was like, no, that's not true. You know how many guys are in the NBA? I was like, you know how many guys make it to the NBA? Every year, you have hundreds of thousands of kids that want to make it to the NBA. Half of them won't make it to the varsity team, right? And then you could cut that down by another quarter, or maybe even more than that, like 75% that's going to make it to college basketball, and then cut that in half, or maybe cut it like another 70% that's going to make it to D1, and then only like 10 of those are going to make it, for maybe each team that are going to make it to the freaking the NBA. So when we say there are exceptions, there are fewer, very fewer than many, right? So, this is something that we should all want. We should want masculine men as a collective, because women are going to have to start paying bills for themselves. You're going to have men that are leeching on you. You're going to have men that want to stay home and play games all day, right? And then you're going to have, and this is already happening. You're going to have the men that are, you're going to find men that are exceptionally, ambitious, exceptional, and you're going to see it, because I remember a few years back after I had broke up with my ex and I was dating, I was going crazy. But one thing that I noticed, and a lot of women said, oh, you're so masculine. Oh, like, and this is stuff they said. I didn't say, oh, you're so alpha, you're so serious. Like, I like it. Like you make me feel feminine, like all the shit, because it's not something they're seeing. And I'm just being me. I'm not pretending. It's the way I was raised. It's the way my father raised. Like, I have friends who said they never even seen my father smile. And as crazy as that sounds, it serves for being, I guess, a good leader. And this is why I can have hundreds of thousands of listens on a podcast. I can followers. I can make a whole living on telling men how to be men, because there's a lot of kids that didn't grow up with certain information. There's a lot of kids that didn't grow up with fathers. And because I was raised a certain way,
I can facilitate something like that and just say, hey, do this and do that, and they get tons of results. But this is really basic. Well, it's not basic anymore, apparently. And then you have things like, women telling you, oh, it's okay to cry. It's okay. Depression is okay. It's not. I'll tell you this, and this is probably a little too personal, but I remember this was like maybe during a pandemic time. And I don't know what I was doing. I don't know whether I was dreaming. I was like half falling asleep. And I thought about how it would be if I was gone, right? It's like one of those, you ever watch one of those shows and it was like, oh, the person's thinking about running away, and then like I guess a guardian angel as themselves comes and says, oh, this is what happened if they weren't there. And I literally had a dream like that. And I don't know whether I was falling asleep. And I pictured how my mom would cry. I pictured how everybody would rely on me and how everybody would be sad. And most of all, it was my mom crying, right? No parent wants to bury their child, right? And I just thought about that. And I've never been like, I never wanted to unalive myself. I've never even had any type of thoughts like that. But my point is that made me like tear a little bit, and I went upstairs and I hugged my mom. Why? Because I thought about how selfish that was. And for me to even have that thought to say, I'm going to do that, it's horrible. It's horrible. So guys who get to this place where they want to be so down and depressed, and they say that, oh, I want to unalive myself, right? That's selfish. Especially guys, you have a family, so you're going to leave your family. You're going to leave your kids. You don't care about how anyone feels. You don't care about who's relying on you. And you're going to take this weak position and say, I'm just going to be selfish and then do away with myself. That's the most weakest position that you can ever take. And that's why in religion, when they say people who unalive themselves go to Jahannam, they burn forever, I have no sympathy for you. Because you took a weak position and it was selfish. It's selfish. But I don't blame them 100% because I think we're being indoctrinated. And I get it. There are some exceptional situations. There's always exceptions. There are people who go through some really, really foul stuff. And I understand that. And maybe those people should be on medication. Maybe those people should speak to a therapist. Maybe those people should, seek some extra help. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But then on the other side, you can see people that have been through 10 times worse. And not only do they come out on top, not only do they succeed, they prosper. So when you say, hey, I'm going through this, I'm going through that. And it's like, well, I was going through that and 10 times worse when I was younger than you. So sometimes I get it because I'm a very understanding person, but sometimes it's hard for me to empathize. But then when I say there's an attack on your masculinity, I understand why, because there's so many things and you guys are indoctrinated. You're being told every day it's okay for you to cry, it's okay. And there's nothing wrong with crying. I think you should, if you're going to cry, hey, if it's not, like I said, if it's not in front of your mom, go in the bathroom and cry. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Because people will hold that against you. And I've had it happen before. And never would I ever let it happen again. And I speak to so many guys on the daily and be like, yo, I cried in front of my girl. Now she's acting different. It's just what I've seen. But listen, guys, my point is you need to be aware and you need to understand that there's an attack on your masculinity. You need to be aware that for some strange reason, and I still don't get it, that the powers that be, whoever's in charge, the people running our country, they want weak men. And I'm starting to see it. I see a lot of guys who say, oh, I like dating nurses because they make a lot of money. We can go half on the bills. It's weak. It's weak. A lot of guys who are leeching off of girls. It reminds me of Baby Boy. Get out your mom's house. Stop driving your girl's car. But just understand that I just wanted to make the awareness that there's an attack on your masculinity, guys. And I want you to understand that, it doesn't seem as if times are getting any better any sooner. And I don't want you guys to make excuses, but now you've been equipped with some tools, and you know what's out there, and you know what's going on. So take responsibility for your actions, take responsibility for the things that you're doing. Don't blame anyone, and you can find a way. You know what I'm saying? You can find a way, and just understand there's an attack on your masculinity, and it's very undeniable. It's very undeniable. But anyway, guys, we're going to end this one off here. And, just take that into consideration. It's a very serious topic. And we're going to end this one off with J.O. Left Field, with Tory Woods and J.O. All right? And end this one off here.
Ransom got that sauce in it. Have you ever loved someone so much you thought you'd die, giving so much of yourself? It seems the only way. Tell me what you want and I will give it to you. I will give it 'cause you call me out of left field. Yeah, some love you never had like this. Fuck with a winner with a bag like this. Yeah, some love you never had like this. You call me out of left field. Yeah, some love you never had like this. Fuck with a winner with a bag like this. Yeah, some love you never had like this. Yeah, call me out. Look, shorty, she a vibe, she a ting. Fire, something like a vibe, everything. Oh my bad, I'm just stating all the obvious things. We could put the small talk and I could buy you a ring on the ready. Shorty on fire, got me gassed up. To the moon, got me feeling like it's NASA. Yeah, she a boss, on God, got a bag up. X-Men was lame, was surprised he ain't last much. She ain't never had no love like this. But she looking for a love like this. Come and put it on me, give me something I can miss. We can keep between us, everything tight lips. Yeah, we ain't gotta tell nobody. I don't need much, all I need is your body. Say you like it rough, okay, give it to me, stop it. Do it so good, I ain't thinking about no side piece. Have you ever loved someone so much you thought you'd die, giving so much of yourself? It seems the only way. Tell me what you want and I will give it to you. I will give it 'cause you call me out of left field. Yeah, some love you never had like this. Fuck with a winner with a bag like this. Yeah, some love you never had like this. You call me out of left field. Yeah, some love you never had like this. Fuck with a winner with a bag like this. Yeah, some love you never had like this. Call me out. Yeah, my back been right. I done seen you looking at me and that ass real right. Tryna give you something good, I'ma make you feel nice. Tryna take you out the hood to a sea first fly. We be dancing on the beach, get the sand on your feet. Wind through your hair, warm in with the breeze. And we straight to my sheets, champagne and Belize. If you want a little pain, I can give it to you easy. Damn, baby, I could give it to you.
We'll take some questions, guys, for like 15, 20 minutes.
Man, I want you. Damn, baby, I could do you how you wanna. Damn, baby, I could. And we ain't gotta tell nobody. I don't need much, all I need is your body. Say you like it rough, okay, give it to me sloppy. Doing it so good, I ain't thinking about no side piece. Have you ever loved someone so much you thought you'd die, giving so much of yourself? It seems the only way. Tell me what you want and I will give it to you. I will give it 'cause you call me out of left field. Yeah, some love you never had like this. Fuck with a winner with a bag like this. Yeah, some love you never had like this. You call me out of left field. Yeah, some love you never had like this. Fuck with a winner with a bag like this. Yeah, some love you never had like this. Call me out.
All right, guys. I'm taking a question. We're gonna take some questions for a little bit, because I know we get started back consistent with the podcast, and I know you guys always have a lot of questions. So we'll take some questions. So drop some questions in the question box if you guys are on TikTok, if you're on YouTube, and if you are on Patreon, I just put up a Zoom link so you guys can join the Zoom. So we're gonna start with the guys on Zoom first. You got about 20 minutes. Let's start shooting some questions. Don't be afraid to speak. What's up, Andrew? What's up, Jesus Santana, Ricardo? Andrew, is that you? Don't be.
Yeah, what's up?
What's up, man? You got some questions, or are you just here to listen?
I might. I don't know.
All right. Well, you know, you can always.
I get my mind thinking about it.
All right. Well, you know, you could always text me.
I know. I'm gonna. I just got back. I've been flying all day.
Okay. Oh, that's crazy. You were in New York. I just realized you told me that, and you didn't even try to link up. That would have been great.
Well, I was in Niagara Falls, so.
Oh yeah, that's a little far.
Yeah, so.
A little different.
Might as well be in Canada.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, that's basically Canada. Might as well. Guys, by the way, if you're in the group chat, don't type in the group chat. If you got questions, speak. Come on, speak up. Man up and use your voices.
What's good, KB?
What's the deal, man?
I don't remember. I don't know if you remember. I went to coaching with you.
You sound familiar.
I'm from Texas. The boxer as well.
I remember.
Yeah. So you remember the situation that was going on, right?
With your girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
And
so,
wait, she lived with her sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. And they had the little dog, right? And it was shitting all over the place.
I hope that dog is still shitting all over the shit. But
yeah.
So we remember that the way you left it off, or the way we left it off, was
right?
The way right? Going on with her mom and shit, right? I went on with my shit, and in previous videos and shit, you said, stay on your word, which that's what I did.
Mm-hmm.
But literally, I ain't gonna lie to you, maybe like 3 days ago, she unblocked me on everything. I'm a little lost as to what that could mean. I mean, I ain't necessarily trying to get back, but maybe link every once in a while. But I'm making known that I don't know what that necessarily means to be unblocked.
Wait, so since we left things off, she just unblocked you 3 days ago?
She just unblocked me, which was like 4 months ago, bro. Yeah. I've been blocked for like 4 months.
I mean, well, 4 months has passed, and like I said, whenever you go no contact, they're always eventually going to reach out. It's like especially when you've been dating someone for so long, it's almost impossible. One or the other parties has to reach out. They have to, especially when you didn't have any closure, especially when you never know. She probably thought the grass was greener on the other side, and it probably wasn't so green, That other side they probably weren't low. It wasn't cutting the grass.
Hey, I forgot. I failed to mention, dog. I remember I told her sister was a stripper, man. So she just got a job at a nightclub as a bartender. I'm like, bro, these influences get into you, dog.
Yeah, that's going down a very dark path. It doesn't sound really good. But to answer your question, I always tell guys, they'd be like, yo, she's not talking to me. Well, I always ask the question, well, are you blocked or anything? And they're like, no, I'm not blocked or nothing. So, that's still an open door. Now, when you've been blocked and now you're unblocked, she's probably gonna make an attempt to say something to you. She's probably been thinking about you. Like I said, she probably thought the grass wasn't so green on the other side. She probably realized how nice of a guy you were, because you're a pretty good, decent guy. I know you work hard, you work a lot of hours, you do what you got to do. You're not on bullshit. So it's like she's probably come to that realization, because you take things for granted until you don't have it anymore. But even more when you see the caliber of person that you're actually dating, and then you realize that there's a lot of trash out there, then you kind of regret it, and you kind of want that old thing back, going back to the grass not being green on the other side, and a lot of people these days, you can't just say it's women. A lot of these people these days are just trash. So that could be the case, but more than likely, what I see is in most cases, she just probably want that old thing back. It's probably what it is.
Yeah, she ain't gonna get that old guy back, man.
Hey, man. Yeah, that's on you, man. And I wouldn't advise it. I never say if you dated somebody and they let it go. I mean, there's always exceptions, right? But yeah, no, not on those terms, because there was a lot of unknowns from what I remember. There was a lot of.
I'm honest. Know as much as me, dog. So
yeah, there's too much suspicious activity in that situation for you to just accept that back. You got to have some respect for yourself,
Yeah, Nah, man, appreciate you, man. I'm gonna stay on this. I'm gonna stay on this just to listen to other situations.
No problem, man. All right, guys. If you got any more questions, just speak up. In the meantime, I'm gonna Jesus, if you got any questions, Robert, if you got any questions, speak up. You guys got any questions in the chat? Let's see what we. Why don't you guys put them in the question box? I see you guys like asking stuff, but let me see.
What up, boy?
What's going on? What's going on?
So mine's not really like a question, but like it's an old thing that happened. I don't know if you remember, but I messaged you on Patreon about it.
Okay, what was it? Remind me.
I was fucking with one of my boys' like moms.
Oh my god. Just remind me. Tell us the story because you're on live, so you got to tell it now. I'm pretty sure everybody wants to hear. And keep the foul language to a minimum because I'm on live and I'm not trying to get blocked off. But tell me what's going on. Tell us. Remind us.
I messaged you. I was like, I got some questions. I need answers ASAP.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, what's up? I said, so I'm macking on one of my homeboys' moms.
Okay. Just tell us the story. Tell us the story as the questions you want to have. So just tell us.
Well, we was at this water park. Like it was me, him, his mom, her kids. And she was telling me about these fall in love kisses she got. I was like, oh, bet. I was like, what the fuck? Like that's weird. My bad. Sorry for the language.
Yeah, continue.
But you know me, like I'm trying to better my game. Like I'm trying to see what these fall in love kisses are.
Oh my god.
And like the whole day, I'm like, yeah, like she was like, I'll show you. I was like, all right, bet. Like, and I'm like, we get back to the house, and it's time to go. Like, she's about to take me home, and I mean, I did it on purpose. Like, I was like, yeah, you trying to take me home? She was like, yeah. So we're on our way home, and I'm like, yeah, pull in a rec center. Let me see what these kisses are. So she pulls in a rec center. She starts hopping on my lap. She starts kissing my neck.
Wait, time out. Pause the story for a second. How old are you and how old is she?
I'm 19. She's 42.
And how old is your friend?
Same age as me.
All right, continue the story.
But that happens, and I'm like, wow, like that happened. And like days go on. She picks me up one day, and like we go like behind some one of their houses. I do my thing, like I laid the pipe.
Oh my god!
And like time went on, and like a relationship developed into this. Yeah, the story gets wild.
Your friend's mom. What does your friend say about all of this?
I'm getting there. We kept it like low key. She was like kind of like a sugar mama. Like she did everything for me. She like paid for me. Like we went up the whole East Coast. But I sold my boy like a MacBook, and I forgot to like clear the messages on the MacBook. And he read all the messages where she was like talking about my dick game's all good and shit. And like he read that
language. So what happened? Did he fight you?
Nah, he ain't fight me. Like I feel like he got enough respect for me not to fight me.
Even
after I died.
You're piping his mom. Are you serious? I oh my god, I can't even talk. Yeah. I'd unalive you. So I gotta talk on TikTok. I'd unalive you, literally.
No, yeah. It was definitely I was not thinking with the best intentions at all.
Oh my god.
Like I regret it now because now that it's over, she was real weird. Like she became like very obsessive over me.
But would you break up with his mom? How'd that end?
Yeah, like I kind of ended it. Like I had to get away from her.
Well, where did it go bad?
When I wasn't like staying there, like she'd want me to stay there. Meanwhile, she had like a dude in her house that like was a roommate, but like not really. Like he just lived there and supported the family.
So she was sleeping with him.
To my knowledge, no.
Dude,
but like I didn't care. Like why the fuck? Why would I care?
Yeah, I get it. You're 19, bro. Oh my god, that's just everybody, I feel like everybody's not, well, clearly not everybody, because that's not a common thing, but you know, a lot of people have been faced with those situations. I've just had enough respect to never cross any of those boundaries.
That will definitely be the first.
And I think I told you not to do it. Did I not?
Yeah, you said I wouldn't do it, but hey, go for OT. It'll ruin your friendship though.
Yeah, see, guys, just to let you guys know, I'm not a complete savage. I do tell guys to do the right thing, because that shit is crazy. That is crazy. And you know, I always before I give advice, I always put myself in their shoes, right? I would never do that to any of my friends. I don't care if their mom was Beyonce. I mean, Beyonce's.
the bit. She was bad. She was bad.
I assume, but you know, it's your friend, man. And honestly, you gotta value some friendships, because other than family, you know, the people that have lasted in my life, even though, you know, that haven't always been on the same pages, your friends will last through relationships, because, you know, you don't have the same type of relationship you do with your friends with a girl, right? So, you know, sometimes you got to value relationships. I'm assuming you guys aren't friends anymore.
We're on talking terms.
Oh yeah, he's different. He's probably one of them. He's probably one of them soy boys. I don't know that. Yeah, what?
Yeah, no, he was like, I got respect for you. Like, for what you did. It's in the past. I don't know. His mom's out there though, so like it probably did not surprise him at all.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Poor kid, man. That sucks. Interesting story. No, I thank you for the content, because
that ain't even a whole story. That was just a brief summary of it.
Oh my God. Honestly, I don't think I could take anymore. Because that is crazy.
No, this shit's off the wall.
Oh my God. Guys, don't sleep with your friends' moms. It's not. You know, that reminds me, what's that song Becky's mom has got it going on? I think
Stacy's mom got it going on.
I know it's some white girl name. That's a really good song. I actually like this song, but yeah, in reality, it's a pretty messed up situation.
Yeah, no, it definitely was exhilarating.
I bet
it was a different experience.
I bet you should have got some more money out of it. You should have invested it or something. You should have took it.
Oh, I got a decent amount of valuable items from it.
Oh, I bet. Anyway, guys, last chance for questions. If you guys got questions, let me get off of here. I gotta get back to my busy life. All right, no last questions. All right, guys, thank you for joining. Thank you, guys. Thank you for that story. That was interesting. I bet everybody loved that. That's what it's looking like from the comments. Anyway, I'm gonna get off of here. You know, Andrew, shoot me a text. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Jesus, for joining. I'm gonna get off the Zoom call now. Let's end that. That's crazy. Thank you guys for everybody who joined. Make sure you subscribe. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you send some likes. Join Patreon. If you want to talk next time, you can join Patreon and you will get access to the Zooms and you guys can just ask your questions. Honestly, $16 a month is nothing. You'll spend more than that in a day. Most of you spend more than that, way more than that in a week. So make sure you subscribe to Patreon. And, you know, this time we're going to be more consistent. Probably 3 to 4 times a week. We're going to be on here with the podcast and in the lives. Sorry, guys, I didn't get you to in the questions. I feel like there's a question box, you know, but next time I got you. Maybe I'll come on tomorrow and we'll just answer some questions. All right. But anyway, we're getting off here. Thank you guys for coming. I'll be back most likely mañana. Adios. Hasta luego.